Hi, I'm Melody Barker. Thanks so much for tuning in. Today we're going to talk about charisma. It's one of those things that helps you be drawn to another person. It's their personality, the way that they talk, or the way that they address people. It's something about them that makes you say, I want to know more about them, or I want to get connected with them. So just here real quickly, who pops into your head of somebody that you've met that you're like, I love connecting with them. I love getting to be around them. I always feel full of energy after I get to see them. Who is it that you are naturally drawn to? There's something in them or about them that's drawn to you, and I bet you it's their charisma. So let's look at this. What are those characteristics that those people have that are drawing you to them? And then also, how do you develop your ability to draw people to you? So let's look at that. Number one, love your life. The people who naturally draw people into them are people who are excited about what's going on in their life. They have a positive outlook. They're always full of energy and sharing what's going on. And I can tell you, that just immediately friends of mine come that anytime I think of them, I think about how much I enjoy spending time with them and how much I want my character to develop and to be more like their character because I see how people are drawn to them. I see the way that they connect with people and I understand how valuable that is and how important it is, especially in today's culture. So number two, correct or improve the way that you look at people. One of the best things that you can do to correct or to improve your charisma is to start valuing people and looking at them beyond how you just see them. Or maybe the people that you've like, oh, I don't really like my interaction with them, or I tend to avoid hanging out without them. I want to challenge you to remove the label that you've put on them. And as John Maxwell calls it, put a 10 on their head. And what does that mean to put a 10 on their head? It means to start looking at them and valuing them as if they're a winner, or as if they're, top notch and high scoring in your scorebook if you have one. By looking at them with this kind of value, you'll realize how important it is to invest into them. And it may not be that this works for everybody, but you can definitely work on replacing those first impressions that you've had with people. One of the best quotes for this is the greatest good you can do for another person is not just to share your riches, but to reveal to him his own. So, in this, when you're working with people and helping to develop them, it's not just about who you are and what you've done, but it's helping to draw out the greatness that's inside them. It's calling out that potential that's inside them. That's what's going to help boost your charisma and the ability to draw people to you. Number three, always give people hope. Everyone needs hope. It's such a powerful force, and even if you think of the Mockingjay, when they talk about the uprising and what's going on, and they were saying, fear won't work if the people have hope. There's nothing more powerful than hope. So, one thing, as you're working with people, as you're speaking into their life, or even just in regular relationships or everyday, going to the office, you want to make sure that you're speaking hope, that you're giving hope to people and to the situation that they're in. Don't settle down into the muck or the mire or the everything's bad, but help them try to find that silver lining. And it could be really hard to find that silver lining, and it could just be like, I really hope things turn around for you. That could be the only thing you speak into that specific situation, but you want to make sure to always try to find that silver lining and to leave people with a sense of feeling of hope and that everything's going to work out. Number four, share yourself. This is so important when we're connecting with people. You want to be vulnerable, but you don't want to be the person who's always talking. You want to make sure that you share enough that people understand where you came from, where you're going, what you're working on, that kind of a thing. But then invite the other person to participate in the conversation. Make sure it's not just one-sided. Open-ended questions are a great place to begin with starting a conversation. And even as you share your story, and you could say, well, this was really hard, or this is the setbacks that we faced, or this is even the current struggle that I'm facing with, in that you can share what's going on. You don't have to give all of the details. And you could also say, that's kind of a general idea of what happened, but here's how things are getting better, or here's how things are looking up. Because the last thing you want to do is burden people with those things that have gone wrong or maybe didn't work out well in your life. And here's where we tie back to having a feeling of hope. You always want to make sure that even as you share your story, even if it's something like, overcoming cancer or getting out of debt, or, dealing with, the struggles of a sickness or a disease, that in that process that you share, yes, a little bit of the heartache, a little bit of how hard it was, but then share the recovery, share the overcoming, share the winning of the battle. It's so powerful to give people hope, and that's a reoccurring message that no matter what walk of life you're in, hope is such a powerful force. So let me ask you this. What could you do today to start improving your charisma? Well, how about I give you just a few things to work on? Number one, change your focus. If you're looking for what's bad or what's wrong or what's hard, you're going to find even more of that. But if you start looking for what's good or how things are getting better, it's going to change the energy that you have. It's going to change your excitement that you have towards life. And you're going to start seeing even more of that goodness coming your way. So change your focus. Number two, work on recreating your first impression. Maybe before you saw how other people, maybe you scaled them on a 1, 2, 3, or 4, and you're working on scaling them up to a 10. Maybe take a moment and look at yourself with a 10. Start valuing who you are and what you have to offer, and to start boosting your own self-confidence and valuing yourself at a higher level, so that when you walk into a room, you walk into a room with your shoulders up, with your head held up, making good eye contact with those, because you understand that you have value to add to others. Let me ask you a quick question, and I'd love to hear from you. So be sure to comment. Who are you reading books by? Who's your favorite author? When you're looking for personal growth or things, like this topic of how to develop your character, who do you go to? One of my favorites is John Maxwell. I absolutely love the leadership material that he puts out there. And a lot of how I've developed my character and my influence has been from reading and studying the books that he's written. Number three, share yourself and share your resources with others. Let me ask you this. Who are you reading books by? Who are you allowing to speak into the direction that you're going in or the personal growth path that you're facing right now? Because it's so important to not do this journey alone. I personally love John Maxwell. So much of what I teach and what I read comes from what he's written and the message that he's really lived as a leader, bringing and adding value to those around him. So do me a favor, comment below, let me know what's your favorite book and who's your favorite author in this personal growth topic. You can never give too much. So as we've talked about giving hope to others and sharing yourself and sharing your path or your history with others, understand you can never give too much. For every bit that you give, even more is going to come back to you. I'm Melody Barker, and I want to thank you for watching today's topic, charisma.